Welcome to the Woolly World of Westknits, episode 9. We have a lot to catch up on. There's been a lot of new shawls and socks going on, and the Petknits collection is complete, Stitch. You're the model of the debut Petknits collection. You had to share the spotlight with your brother, but that wasn't so bad. So the final Petknits design just came out, this really simple faded Rib Pup sweater. So we'll look at all those dog sweaters, some socks. There's a new sock knit along going on. So grab a drink and grab your knitting and let's hang out and chat and catch up on what's new in the Westknits world. So Stitch, what are you doing? Are you ready for a new collection already? So that dog collection I made, the Petknits for Brioche and Stitch, is finally complete. And I completed it just in time for the hottest weeks of the year here in Amsterdam. So they haven't been getting much wear, the new sweaters. But the good thing about summer knitting is that you finish things in the summer and then they're ready for fall. So they have a whole little dog sweater wardrobe ready to keep them warm in the fall. Do you like wearing your sweater, Stitch? So the last one we released was the faded Rib Pup sweater. And this is one of the easiest ones too. The first one we released was that striped pup sweater, and that's the other really easy one. But what I love about the faded Rib Pup sweater is it's so elastic and stretchy, so there's room to grow. But you're going to stay little forever. You promise, Stitch? Yeah, she's full grown, believe it or not. She's already about a year and a half, and you're maxed out, aren't you, Stitch? Yeah, this is as big as you're going to get, unless you keep stealing your brother's food. So this 1x1 ribbing is really, really stretchy, and I even put a little buttonhole on all these patterns, like an optional harness hole. So in the fall, yeah, you're so tired. In the fall, if you want to wear these sweaters over your dog's harness, you can put that optional buttonhole on the back, and those instructions are in all the patterns. Brioche is snoozing, but I made him a purple one. So we've got teal for you and purple for your brother. And this faded Rib Pup is done with 3 colors of DK weight yarn. And yeah, you're going to have lots of leftovers. So it's really good for using leftover bits in your DK weight yarn buckets. You could even do like 5 or 6 colors. So get creative and start with the lightest and fade down and increase the saturation as you go. This one was a solid with some kind of variegated yarns, so you do see a little bit of a striping transition, but Stitch's colors were all these multi-marbled variegated colors, which makes for a really smooth blend. Right, Stitch? You love it. All right, let's get you out of this. It's a little warm today. So, Stitch has been sleeping in my yarn bucket. I'm going to show you around a little bit later some of the little nooks of my new studio. I've been moving and painting this week into a new studio space. So keep on watching. At the end of this episode, I'll show you some little glimpses of what I've been doing. But I've been painting and rearranging all my yarn. And Stitch has found a cute little spot in one of my shawl buckets. And she found a new napping corner. A little nap cave made of the finest hand-knit pillows. So, Stitch, you go play with your brother now, okay? We got to talk socks. It's a really big month for sock knitters, okay? Some people's lives are going to be changed because they're going to knit their first socks this month. So if you haven't signed up yet, we're doing the surprise Sockalong. And this is the very first year I've done it. And I've just been so inspired by knitting socks because I feel like I have to catch up now because I spent years and years and years like hating and avoiding sock knitting, and those were wasted years because once I finally just accomplished my first pair of socks, I was like, oh, these take like half the time as one of my big schlankets. So the surprise Sockalong is going. We've got the first sections underway. There's 2 colors. There's some cables, there's some color play going on, and you just need 2 colors to participate. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can join along and maybe even get a sneak peek of what the design looks like. And you can join at any time and cast on and try to catch up, or just, yeah, embrace your own pace. And it's not a race, these knit-alongs. It's just about learning some new things. And I just like making the same thing and seeing other people's color combos and going, oh, that's so beautiful. Why didn't I choose that color combo? I'm going to save that color combo for my next project. And it's just very motivating to, yeah, knit the same thing and also to commit to knitting something without knowing where you're going with it. So you don't really have the chance to say, no, I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. You have to just do it and then decide if you like it as you go or not. But I promise you're going to love it because there's something new every week. So what I love about these mystery style knit-alongs and with the socks are it's a quick project, and week by week there's always something different. So yeah, even if you don't like, I don't know, it's more about the process. So some people might not like one section, but then the next week it's going to change. And then you love that section, but it's going to change again. So it's just all about embracing the moment, embracing the process, knitting in the moment. And by the end, you have something functional and warm to wear for your feet. And yeah, there's videos along the way. So if you haven't done socks before, I'm going to walk you through, there's all these tutorials. And these are some of my past socks I've done. So you know for the surprise sock along, it's going to look like a sock. And you can just knit one sock during the knit along and then knit the other one later, or you could knit both socks simultaneously. So check out the surprise sock along. If you're doing it as your first pair of socks, I hope it's not too crazy for you. There's some different techniques going on, but when you take it section by section, it's just one or two little techniques each section. And then when they all build together, it looks really impressive. But that's what I love about my mysteries, is it always looks really cool in the end, but week by week, it's very simple. Just little short pattern repeats, and then you're on your way. So if you're not knitting the socks yet, you could still participate by just choosing 2 colors. You could stash dive, you could still order any yarn from your local yarn shop. We have lots of sock yarn at Stephen and Penelope, and you just need 1 skein of each color. So it's a good time to collect those special skeins. And if you want to go really solid, you're going to get those super crispy details in the Contrast Blast socks. But if you like those multicolored yarns, make sure you pair it with something really different so that 2 busy yarns don't get lost together. So something like this would be really cool, or a multicolor, maybe even with the green would be a good Contrast Blast. This is like a little garden party for some socks. So 2 colors is all you need, and yeah, I can't wait to see how you embrace that surprise mystery spirit, and we'll get a new section of the socks every Thursday. So you can get those on Ravelry or Westknits.com, the Contrast Blast socks, and it's just so much fun to watch and participate. So yeah, knit some socks, but if you don't, it's a fun little party to watch and see what people are knitting. So follow along either way by just watching people's progress or join in on the fun and have some socks at the end of July. So that's the surprise sock along. And in the sock world, there's a lot going on in the sock world. We've got our Westknits Year of Socks still going on, and these are the July socks. Really simple, a little palette cleanser. We've got a lot of color work going on in the Westknits world. Colorwork shawls, these crazy Contrast Blast socks. So these are a little, these just came out for the July Year of Socks to match your basket weaver sweater or your basket weaver shawl. I just love that little woven basket stitch because it's just knits and purls with a little eyelet, but you get that beautiful woven effect. Really pretty for your solid, semi-solid yarns. So those are the July socks, and then I just released, I've got my DK ones, a couple free patterns. So it's been several months, or maybe since last year, since I did my last free pattern. So I gave you 2 this summer, and also in the sock realm. So these Scrappy DK Socks, these are a free download, and I'll link to all these patterns down below. So if you want to download this free pattern, what are you waiting for? It's just, yeah, a free PDF, and you can use your stash. I used lots of my leftovers of DK weight for my sweaters, and I love these stash busty kind of sock and shawl projects because they're like little memory capsules. You can like remember all the projects you made. Like this was my basket weaver shawl, or you don't remember what you made. What the heck was this? I think I made some other socks with this for winter. Where did this green come from? This is La Bien-Aimée. What did I use? I think I've had this green for like 3 years. So it's either a memory capsule or a memory challenge. I don't know what any of these yarns were. I know that was my basket weaver sweater. Sometimes I just say things and then I try to like validate them later. These are all my memories. I had such a good time from all these projects. I'm like, what the heck? I don't remember any of these yarns. Okay, no, this one. This one I got in Iceland. Great memory, cool. Okay, it's a one memory capsule sock. I'll think before I say things next time. Am I the only one that has these stash yarns that you don't remember when you got them? Does that mean I need to like stop collecting yarn? Did I just say that? I'm never gonna stop collecting yarn. But yeah, I definitely have those yarns. A couple of them I remember, but I think we're in a safe space, right? Do you have yarns in your stash that you like reveal them? They're like hiding under other skeins. You pull them out and you're like, what is that? I don't remember ever collecting that. I apparently have lots of colors like that. So dig them out, knit them into some Scrappy DK Socks, and feel less guilty about hoarding yarn that you don't remember getting. Yeah, stash busted up. So those are the Scrappy DK Socks, and there's also a Westknits Simple Socks recipe that's for fingering weight yarn. So that's linked down below as well, and that's good for all your sock yarn, leftover shawl sock yarn that you're using for your shawls. You can knit some Scrappy Westknits Simple Socks. That's a fingering weight pattern. And Scrappy DK Socks is for your yarns that you don't remember getting and then make them useful. So those are what's new in the sock world. If you're part of the Yarn Along, do you want to see the final Yarn Along shawl? So this was part of my summer club, and it was the final shawl with the custom colors from Soslaril in Denmark. And I loved how this one turned out. Really summery with those beautiful eyelets. And I tried a new to me stitch pattern, this daisy stitch, and I put a little tutorial here on YouTube on how to work that daisy stitch. So this pattern doesn't come out till January, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, till January. So as a single pattern, you gotta wait till January. But if you're in the Yarn Along, this was your final club shawl with 3 colors, custom dyed. And I just love this palette. We ended with a bang for the Yarn Along because Soslaril dyed this just stunning blue, royal blue with a little purple tone to it. So it's just a big color splash impact and these little variegated flowery colors that contrast beautifully with it. So it's a triangle shawl. It's called the Frolicking Field Shawl. And with only 3 skeins, you can try these fun little eyelet stitches and the daisy stitch for your fingering weight yarns. So this will come out in January, but for you Yarn Along subscribers, you should have received this in your inbox already. So I can't wait to come up with some new ideas next year. We always do the Yarn Along in the summer, and it's always 3 months, and we'll announce it again early next year. So if you missed out on this year's club, I think all the spaces are gone by now, but we're gonna do it again next year with new colors and new shawls. So it was a really fun floral theme this year, and I'll have to give a think what kind of color theme, style theme we're gonna do next year. We'll see. So that's the Yarn Along, and a couple other new things that have come out last month. For those of you that love cables, there's this other triangle shawl called the Stony Stream Shawl that just released last month. And I was real inspired by that botanic shawl I made a few years ago. And I really love pairing these self-striping yarns with the solid colors because they really frame out those color changes. And I also find that when you use a special yarn, like a hand-dyed variegated or a self-striping spin cycle or the Zauberball crazy types of yarns, when you pair them with a solid, it like stretches out those special colors so you get to see them in twice the amount of fabric, but you're using like half as much. So like if you did a shawl only with those special yarns, you'd get a smaller shawl with 200 grams, but 200 grams with the special yarn with 200 grams of a solid yarn is also special. But basically when you combine them together, you get that twice as much fabric, that bigger size with those stripes and slip stitches. So it's quite a large size, and it's one of those triangle shapes that I design with a lot where it starts really tiny at the tip and you just keep on knitting until you want to bind off. So I tell you how many repeats I did, but if you're a little smaller, not as giant as me, you want a smaller little petite shawl, just bind off early. You could have a really small one with just one ball of each color, one skein of each color. It'd be about half the size, but yeah, go big. Get 2 balls of each color, and then you've got that beautiful drape. So this one was with Ching Fiber Dashing Sassy as that main color. It's their malachite colorway, this beautiful dusty teal. And then the Zauberball Crazy was the marled self-striping yarn. And it's just so fun to combine those different types of yarn together. And you get the fun color play and then the soft buttery drape of that Ching Fiber Dashing Sassy. So we may still have some, we have different types of yarn kits always at Stephen and Penelope. So give a look at what color combos we have. This would also look really good in like a crisp 2-color version, like a bright and a dark. You could get some really crispy Stony Stream details with 2 solids together, or like a variegated and a solid. I think that would be really beautiful. 2 skeins of each color for the Stony Stream Shawl. So I'll link this one down below as well. I'm really happy with the texture, and it was a new stitch pattern for me to play with. It's a slip stitch with a little cable cross, and I'm already thinking I need some socks like that. Maybe for next year's little Year of Socks collection. Yeah, I think this would be pretty for some socks, maybe a hat. Yeah, whenever I finish one project, my mind is already spinning for like, what could I do? Like maybe with a thicker yarn for a hat or something. But it's one of those stitch patterns that's, yeah, a short pattern repeat, but has a lot of detail and impact. So that's the Stony Stream, and those are most of the new things that have come out. So let's move around, and I want to show you a little bit of my studio and what's going on with the painting and how my shawl storage situation is going on. Yeah, let's take a look and see what's new in the Westknits studio world. So I've been getting really busy with color in another form. I've been painting a lot. So this is one of my walls here at the studio that was white, and it needed to be color opportunityed. So I've been discovering that a lot of the color combos are like matching what my knits are. And yeah, it's like, okay, this makes sense. This wall is basically like a sweater or like a shawl. So I've been playing with different color combos. This was the brown upstairs I did. And then this green became this neutral wall. I called my green my neutral down here. So I think this wall is destined to become a shawl and like yarn wall, but I don't know yet how I'm gonna put the yarn on the wall, like on shelves or like hung up in a different way. So if you have types of ways you like to store your yarn or hang your yarn around your house or anything, I'd love to hear with your comment down below. You can let me know how you like to store your yarn. Are they in bins or buckets? Do you like having your yarn in cabinets? Or do you like hanging your yarn? So I have lots of different ways how I store a lot of my yarn, but I'm thinking of how to put it up on the wall. Maybe on like a metal rack or something. So stay tuned. This is a little bit of the before. It's like a blank canvas that's been colorized, but I want to fill it with yarn. But one of the exciting things I did, there's this little ledge, and this felt like my ColourPop stripe in a shawl. I did this like papaya, salmon, coral, pinky orange. It's one of those colors, like I don't know, is it orange? Is it pink? It's like a light bright color. And I made a video of me painting this wall last week, and a lot of you guessed exactly which color I should paint this ledge. And a lot of you said papaya or like a very specific shade of orange, which is what this is. And I was really surprised with, yeah, your comments there. Some of you said I should do it hot pink or purple or chartreuse. And then I'm like, I need to paint more walls because those are some good color ideas. Yeah, chartreuse, a lot of you said like it should be a lime or yellow or chartreuse. And now I'm wishing I had another wall. So maybe we'll paint something else. We'll see. Or maybe I could use that as like paint a cabinet or a furniture or something like that. So let's take a look at how things are moving along. I've got a lot of my yarn out and stored. So this is how I keep most of my yarn. I just like pile it up and organize it by weight and like by the dyer or by the yarn weight and fiber so that they could all work together in like a shawl or some socks. So I've got a lot of knitting to do. This will last me all year to do some socks and some new shawls for the year. And then I've got a lot of my favorite little collectibles around here too. This is my friend Sonia who knit this little mini-me, and he's even wearing a spring cleaning shawl, and he pierced his ear with a tapestry needle. He's got a Marled Mania sweater, and he's working on like a painting brick shawl with like little knit booties. And he's even got my project bag crocheted with yarn in it. So this was crocheted by my friend Sonia. I just love that. And she also made me these little brioches and stitches right over here. So they have a little special spot. They also double as chew toys, but I don't do much crochet, so thank you, Sonia, for giving me some crochet touches to the studio. And then I wanted to show you how I store a lot of my shawls. So sometimes I fold them. I often will hang them up as well. Right, Stitch, you go down. But the most simple way that's really, really quick, especially for these big shawls, is I just roll them up. So I'll take a big one and I'll just like fold it a couple of times, and then I'll like make a burrito roll out of it. And I find that when I roll them like this, they don't get as many wrinkles and creases. So they're just like nice, smooth rolls. And this is my little shawl burrito collection. And this is most of them. These are my active shawls, the ones I like wear and use the most. And there's still some others in boxes and stuff that I need to organize. But I have some empty space here that I need to fill with new shawls. So we'll see what kind of colors and styles are made. But a lot of them I just organize either by yarn weight or by their like technique style. So I've got all my modular shawls here, like the shifting chevrons. So I put them all together so they can make friends with all the shawls in the similar technique. So this is how I keep them, but every like month or so when there's like new shawls, or if I just want to get inspired by different things, or if I have a new collection, then I found all these hooks that I hung up on my wall. And I love organizing my shawls and hanging them on the wall and just seeing them in a different way. And then when you see different colors together or different shawls together, it gives you ideas of like new color combinations. So I really like seeing all my shawls out and about, or seeing all my yarn visibly rather than tucked away behind a door or in a box, because yeah, then it inspires you with those accidental color combinations that form. So even when you just throw all the yarn in a shelf, you start to get these little accidental color groupings, and it's just a really fun way to go, oh, I never thought about that. Or maybe over here, these really dark ones happening next to each other. That could be a really good smoky shawl. So that's how I store my yarn and my shawls. But it's going to change throughout the fall as there's new colors coming and as the new collections and designs are being made. I'm sure I'll switch things around and come up with new ways to hang them and display them. But yeah, let me know how you display all your stuff, and if you found any like clever solutions. Like, is there a container that you really like for your yarn? Or is there like a certain method or a shelf or something that you just love for displaying your knits? Let me know, and we can give each other some fun ideas of how to get inspired by all those stash yarns and beautiful things that you've handmade. So stay tuned. I'll give you another little update later on in one of these episodes to see how the space is transforming, and give you some more inspiration for what solutions I found to display yarn and shawls. So thanks for watching. I hope you got some good ideas and some new inspiration from these projects. And we'll share some more Sockalong progress in the next episode and see what's coming around for summer. And fall's right around the corner, but I've still got some fun little sweet summer projects for you throughout the summer. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.